Welcome to Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
And good morning, Keys. It is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys, Monday morning, the 16th of March, St. Patrick's Day upon us. Tomorrow, we're going to say good morning to Mayor Danise Henriquez with us this morning on Good Morning Keys and Keys Living TV. Good morning, Mayor. How are you today?
Good morning, Michael. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday after another busy weekend. Actually, I will give kudos and a shout out to Dorian Patton and his crew were at the Artisan Market this past weekend at the beautiful Sonny McCoy Indigenous Park talking about recycling and plogging. So we may have some new ploggers on the rolls for this weekend.
Well, that's good. So I was out there Saturday because he also did the yard sale and a trunk.
Oh, yeah.
So I went out there for a little bit as well. So he was out there Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Well, busy. No rest for the for the weary, that's for sure. You've been busy as well. City Hall has been busy with a number of different discussion items. Let's put it that way. Higgs Beach has been in the news. We talked about it last week as far as the possibility of the city gaining the ownership to Higgs Beach. I also spoke with another mayor, Mayor Michelle Lincoln, about this last week. She was talking about some of the thought processes that went into this discussion and how it may make some sense to have it, since it is the only county park within the confines of a municipality. That kind of started some of the discussion as to what makes sense. You had talked about it in terms of fiscal responsibility as well, and that discussion continued last week.
Yes. So also at our last commission meeting, we did give the go-ahead to our city manager and staff to be able to look into it even further. From my understanding, the Board of County Commissioners last week gave their staff the go-ahead to propose a plan to transfer Higgs Beach to the city. So now, between now and our next commission meeting, which is April 1st, from my understanding from our city manager, we should have something in place. So the city staff and the county staff should have something to present to us. So they'll be working very diligently together and coming up with a plan and present to the city commission on April 1st.
Very well. So the city would then continue to maintain the property, but it's also my understanding there are grants available, and the county also is going to be prepared to transfer a significant amount of money that has been in a fund for that maintenance and upkeep.
Yes, so between the insurance claims, they'll be able to transfer that money. They'll be able to work with the TDC and transfer those funds, grants. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it's all stuff that can be done, and we'll go ahead and move forward if that is the will of the commission.
It is Mayor Danise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West. Speaking of facilities, Coffee Butler Amphitheater has been under a lease management agreement, for lack of a better term, with Ramsay Key West. They did come out publicly and say they're not going to renew that, although it's also my understanding that activities and events will continue at Coffee Butler Amphitheater. The structure under which those are operated may change, however. So there still is some work to be done to bring that facility up to par, according to some of those discussions that have happened over the past couple of years too.
You're correct, Michael. So Ramsay will not be renewing the amphitheater's contract, which I believe is in August, with the city. And so now city staff is now exploring alternatives for managing the amphitheater. And as everybody knows, and it's always been a discussion, even the last year that I've been here and prior to that, is needing more bathrooms. So bathrooms is one of the issues, and as well a green room for them to be able to change and eat and so forth. So yes, there's some work that needs to be done. So our city staff will be exploring some alternatives. So I'm sure in the next commission meeting or so, we'll start having discussions on that as well.
Mayor Danise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West, on Good Morning Keys. And speaking of infrastructure and updates and the like, Duval Street, the revitalization program moving forward.
Yes, I am so excited about this. So We are going to start seeing some changes down there. And when I say changes, meaning um, when I had the mayor for the day, a gentleman had won that in an auction, and he came here, started at 7:30 in the morning and finished at 4:30 in the afternoon, and he was exhausted by the end of the day. But with that said, he was so impressed with our city, he wanted to donate money to help replace trees that were missing off of Duval Street, Front Street, and Caroline Street. So we did make it a point to go and identify those trees that were missing. And he wanted to donate up to $10,000 to replace those trees. Well, last week he upped it to up to $25,000 for replacing the trees. So I've been meeting with the urban forestry and making sure that we put the right trees that will be very happy there, and what the process is going to be and how much it's going to cost. So you're going to start seeing the trees being replanted there in the near future. And then last week, the city manager, staff, and myself met with the Florida Economic Development representative, and we found out that there's money out there that we can apply for lighting. So we're going to get apply for a grant, which we've already started the process, to be able to change out all the lights on Duval Street and make them LEDs and have internet and make them web-based. And you could change the colors on the lights and have cameras on those lights. So right now, those lights on Duval Street are so old, they can't even really replace the light bulbs because they're so antiquated. So I'm looking forward to being able to replace the lighting that's going to be happening there. And our ambassador class that's currently going on right now, their project is going to be to paint all of the garbage cans that are on Duval Street and remove all of those stickers and repaint all of them. So I look forward to a lot of things happening on Duval Street in the next few months.
It is Mayor Danise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West on Good Morning Keys. And it looks like the state legislature is going to continue their session. No budget in place as of yet, so that will grind on. We're still waiting to find out what effects that may have upon local governments, including the possibility of property tax reduction, elimination, et cetera. Of course, that would have to go to a voter referendum. But there still is active discussion happening about that very topic.
Yes, so it definitely passed in the House, but it did not pass in the Senate. So we'll see what the governor's going to do. So we are continuing to watch that very closely.
And that could have impact on the state as well, and other actions on the part of the state legislature continue to impact us here. We're continuing to follow all of those, including some of the DEI bills and the like that it really do create some uncertainty for us here. So.
Yes, that is true. So we'll see what happens with the rules as far as the DEI bills are concerned, and the governor still needs to approve it. But just to reiterate, we can still have those events. It's just that the city cannot fund them and or support them.
Okay. Well, thank you for that clarification. But yeah, there's been a lot of uncertainty with the legislature, and then local municipalities are left to try to sort through the details and find out how we don't step in a pothole, so to speak.
Yes.
In so doing, we have to protect our own interests. So Tree Commission meeting happens tomorrow on St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of green and trees, at least that's appropriate for tomorrow. Civil Service Board meeting on the 18th, Wednesday. Conch Revival Picnic looks like that's happening on the 18th. Ambassador class, you mentioned that, Mayor. That's on Thursday with Community Services and Transit. Code enforcement hearing Thursday. Busy week continues. The Florida Keys Latin Festival is happening this weekend. Plogging on Friday as well. So we've got a lot of things continuing during spring break season here in the city.
Yes, so two things. Today we still have the open door office hours from 2 to 4 for Meet the Mayor. So please come on down if you have an opportunity to come say hi, speak to me, any concerns you may have. It's like I said, and I say it every week, it's been very successful. And like I said, people were starting to come at 1:15 to try and make sure they get here for the rush at 2:00. So meet the mayor 2 to 4. It's open. And then on Friday, the early bird cleanup is at H&R Block over there at the Key Plaza Shopping Center. And that starts at 8 a.m.
Okay, well, another busy week here in the city of Key West. Is there anything else we missed as far as highlighting for the common good?
No, I think we're very, as you can see, we're very busy. Please attend the meetings, get informed, get educated, have a great week, and be safe out there.
And thank you for being here as always. And thank you for your open door policy and your transparency as well. This show will be seen, as mentioned, on Keys Living TV, channel 27 at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. today. Also on Roku streaming and on your phone apps under Keys Living TV. So the mayor is on TV now. So that's good.
All right. Well, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so very much, Mayor. Have a wonderful day yourself. It's Mayor Danise Henriquez with us, Mayor of the City of Key West. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys forecast. Well, we were talking about having the strong possibility of some significant rain over the weekend. That really did not materialize to a great extent, and a number of events happened over the weekend, undaunted by those impending downpours we were possibly expecting. Seafood Festival Marathon, another success as they celebrated 50 years. The Artisan Market on Sunday, as mentioned, Sonny McCoy Indigenous Park. That was a wonderful event, as always. High of 85 for us for today, though. 30% chance of rain tonight. Here it comes. They're saying 80% chance of rain at 67 for the low. Tomorrow, 30% chance of rain, 77. Getting a little bit cooler there. Wednesday, 78, 50% chance of rain. Thursday, looks like 20% chance of rain, 79. Then Friday clears out, 78, sunny and windy. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The Talk of the Keys. Will return with more Good Morning Keys in just a moment.
Hello, I'm Renee. My husband Steve and I own Caribbean Marine Canvas of Key West. We are a custom marine upholstery shop that recovers any type of cushion, even those luxury captain's chairs. We make biminis, sunshades, awnings, and those specialized tiki walls. Wow, even hard glass enclosures, any color or fabric you desire. We can complete your project to match your look. Removing, reinstalling, or just picking up items, not a problem for Caribbean Marine Canvas. A truly custom shop who cares about you and your ideas. I will personally guarantee your satisfaction, and I mean that. We have expert craftsmen who pay attention to extreme detail. All of us here at Caribbean Marine Canvas want you to be happy. I will come to you to truly understand your project, and I'll be on time every time. Visit our website, CaribbeanMarineCanvas.com, or stop by and say hello on Stock Island, across from Ocean's Edge Resort and Marina, Key West. Phone 305-432-6542. That's 305-432-6542.
Let's talk trash. I'm Taylor Conrath, and my family's been taking care of your family's trash for years. In fact, we've operated Marathon Garbage Service and kept the Middle Keys clean since my great-grandpa, John Conrath, founded the company in 1950. That's a lot of years talking trash and hauling trash. And these days, we take care of your family's recyclables in addition to commercial and residential waste removal. The Conrath family and our entire team of great employees takes pride in keeping our community clean, from the north end of the 7 Mile Bridge to Craig Key. Now it's my generation of Conraths working together with my grandfather and my dad to continue the tradition and commitment started in 1950 at Marathon Garbage Service. The Conrath family is always there for your family. If you need to talk trash, just call us at 305-743-5165. That's 305-743-5165. Or visit us at 4290 Overseas Highway in Marathon and online at marathongarbageservice.com.
Join the College of the Florida Keys in celebrating our milestone year at CFK's 60th Anniversary Gala. Party with a Purpose on Friday, March 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. at Fort East Martello. Proceeds benefit student scholarships plus academic and workforce programs. Enjoy an evening of dining, cocktails, live music, and dancing while supporting student success. Special thanks to Essential Net Solutions and First Horizon Bank. Visit cfk.edu/60 for info and tickets.
If it's happening in the Keys, you will hear about it here. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Traffic a little bit lighter than normal. We are in spring break time, as mentioned this whole week. So please still be careful, of course, but you don't need to worry about the school buses or school zones until this time next week. We're going to say good morning to Dr. Sue Woltanski, member of the Monroe County School Board, with us this morning. Good morning, Dr. Sue. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning, Michael. Happy spring break.
It is spring
for
break.
Everyone else.
Yeah, actually, I saw a friend of mine in the grocery store, and he had his hands full of like snack foods and that kind of stuff. And I said, hey, look, I don't want to hold you up from what you're doing there. And he said, it's spring break. The kids are home. I've got as much time as you need. So anyway, so let's talk about the schools, of course. So Artists in Schools with a grant from the Arts Council, I believe it was, but presenting a lot of different artistic opportunities, symphony in the schools and the like. So arts and culture continues to be promoted in the Monroe County school curriculum and district overall.
Yeah, we have a great partnership with many community organizations, but Keys Arts, or the Art Council of the Florida Keys, puts out grants that people can apply for to get artists into the schools. And this past week or two, the schools have really benefited from that. The South Florida Symphony comes down and plays like a full symphony orchestra designed for kids in each of the regions of the Keys. And so this year, the theme was the 25th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So it was very patriotic. They have a slideshow that they show, and they explain how the music, they explain what the music means. And for many kids, it's the first time, and for some kids, it's going to be the only time that they see a real symphony. And it's very exciting for these kids to get in there. And the leaders of it also teach kids like theater etiquette and when to clap and how not to talk and what's appropriate, what's not. And it's just really a great program for all aspects of the kids' lives, but they come home real excited from it. So we're grateful to have that. That was something that Mrs. Axford brought in. She was a board member of the Council of the Arts, and that was something that she brought in, the symphony, and then was able to expand it to the upper keys and the middle keys as well. And if you can imagine, it's logistically really difficult to get a whole symphony to a school performance.
Oh my, yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of instruments to move around. And when they go to Key West, they have to find places for everyone to stay. But yeah, it's really a tremendous performance. And if you know an elementary school kid, you can ask them about it, because I think they all will have something to say.
Yeah. Voices of Independence, America's Story Through Music was the theme. I was looking at the pictures. Just to transport an upright bass would be a task. Getting the symphony personnel and their instruments down to the keys is an undertaking, but I'm certain there was a lot of benefit to be had by the students who attended that. Again, it's
right. It would be difficult, but if you imagine, we have if you include the charter schools, we have 4 elementary schools up here in the upper keys, and it would be logistically very difficult to get the student population of all 4 elementary schools down up to Miami to see it.
Yes, absolutely it would. Yeah.
So we're grateful that they bring it to us.
Yep. Arts in the schools, very important. Switlick School also got involved with the arts, and I unfortunately did miss this, but apparently they presented the Addams Family with choreography and singing and some talented young zombies there, I heard.
Yeah, they had a fantastic stage, and the chorus was zombies, yes, and they were great. The makeup and costumes were fantastic, and the dancing was great, in part because it was all zombie dancing, and it was fantastic. Really, the chorus, it's one of the few performances that I've seen where the chorus pretty much steals the show. But the leads were the singing was fantastic. There's so much talent there. and these were 4th and 5th graders.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, it was shocking afterwards. And cousin It, was he entertained everyone by unicycling all around the auditorium during the intermission. So there's multiple talents there.
My gosh, that's a lot of fun. That is very, very fun. Well, we are on spring break now. Keeping the kids occupied, as I alluded to early in the conversation, sometimes can be a challenge, but there are ways to do that. Our Monroe County libraries provide a lot of resources for keeping the students somewhat invigorated and educated throughout. But spring break time also kind of a necessary time to have a little bit of recharge session as we just ended. We're about to end, I guess, the marking quarter as well and head into the final stretch of the school year.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. I do want to put a shout out to everyone who might still be waiting in an airport because they missed a connection because there's storms across the country. I'm hearing that from a lot of people who are trying to get somewhere for spring break. I'm wishing them safe travels and that they ultimately get to their destination. But yes, spring break is a great time to recharge and honestly, you don't need to do heavy academics, but reading together is a great idea. And then we get into the last quarter, which tends to just fly. So summer will be here before we know it. Graduations and all of that. This is most exciting time of the year.
Yeah. Yep. Dr. Sue.
Well, after you get through the testing.
That's right. Right. Dr. Sue Woltanski with us. District member 5, school board member, Keys Talk 96.9 The Talk of the Keys. And a little bit of, controversy, maybe we'll put it that way, but the opportunity now to clarify some things regarding discussions ongoing in Almirada regarding Founders Park. That's been an ongoing issue and discussion, seeing as Founders Park is owned by the Village of Almirada and it is utilized by the school district. And so there were some discussions surrounding that issue, but we were going to clarify a little bit, at least as far as, what the spirit of that had been.
Yeah, I hear it's on the Keys Citizen today, although I have not read the article, but I did watch the council meeting, and I was present at the school board discussion. And for about 25 years, there has been a use agreement an interlocal agreement between the village and Coral Shores. There's not enough room back in the backyard of Coral Shores to have both a track and a baseball field. So that has been an agreement since really the park began. And we're looking to make improvements, and those improvements are going to cost, because it'll include the field and redoing and adding a press box and bathrooms. Those improvements are going to cost around $6 million. And so it's an unusual situation for the school board to be in, to have to be building something for $6 million on property that we don't own. So we want to make sure that we do it right. And the village council did send over a remake of the original use agreement that we've all been using for 25 years. And we believed that when that came to us, that was the start of a negotiation process. And so we made edits. Our lawyer took those edits back. Our superintendent and the village manager, Ron Saunders, and their attorney spent time negotiating changes to what our amendments were. And we honestly believed that we were really close to an agreement of something that would satisfy both sides, both the people providing the money and the people providing the land. And it wasn't presented to the village council in that way. It was that we wanted to make change. We really thought it was part of the negotiation process. So we're willing to continue that process. We worked well with the district or with the village for a very long time. We by no means meant to insult them as our landlord. That was not the agreement. We thought that the changes that, we thought the changes that we made and then brought back through negotiation, we thought we were very close to an agreement at that point. We had been led to believe we were close to an agreement, that the attorney and the village manager and our superintendent and attorney had negotiated these a middle ground, that we only had a few things left to talk about. So we were surprised when the village council said no, they were going to go back to the original agreement and dismiss all the negotiations that had happened in that way. But this is something I think can get straightened out. Mm-hmm. It's just a difference in the way the two groups govern, I suppose. Like we take our role of governance very seriously, but we don't make any individual decisions on our board. It's all just the board makes a decision, directs our attorney or our superintendent to carry out those our wishes, or to the best of their ability, and that's what we thought was happening.
Okay, well,
so we'll be able to clear that up. We're not warring factions. Mm-hmm. We're people who want the same thing, what's best for kids.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll continue to follow that process as well, but it sounds like it's all been continuing to be done in good faith, maybe just a little miscommunication that, as you said, most likely can be cleared up going forward. So thank you for that clarification. We do have our next school board meeting. It looks like April 7th, spring break this week. And anything else we should be mentioning before we let you go, Doctor?
Just, enjoy your time with your families. That's what vacations are for.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your service to our community. And we wish you a very good week. We'll talk again soon. Thank you for being here. It was very nice seeing you, Michael, last Monday as well in person.
Thank you so much. It was great seeing you.
Yes, ma'am. Take care.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Dr. Sue Woltanski, School Board Member, District 5, Monroe County Schools, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys. And we are going to have some rain coming tonight from what they say. We'll continue to follow that as well, and get the complete forecast again here shortly. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, The Talk of the Keys.
This is the Community Connection Spotlight, highlighting service organizations and initiatives in our community. Brought to you by Blue Marlin Jewelry in Islamorada and Key West. Join Habitat for Humanity for a night where generosity meets celebration and every dollar makes a real difference. It's the Habitat for Humanity Tropical Gala, Thursday evening, April 2nd. Your support doesn't just build homes, it fuels opportunity and helps local families thrive. Habitat's Tropical Gala is your invitation to an evening of great food, flowing drinks, inspiring stories, and a little friendly competition with games and auctions. Attend, sponsor, and celebrate at the iconic Little White House as Habitat for Humanity comes together to give back, have fun, and invest in the future of our community. This Community Connection Spotlight is brought to you by Blue Marlin Jewelry, saluting those organizations and individuals who serve our communities. Blue Marlin Jewelry, 81549 Old Highway, Islamorada, and now at 718 Caroline Street, Key West. Online at bluemarlinjewelry.com.
Good morning, dear. Breakfast almost ready?
In a minute. So did you happen to call someone about spalling repair for the house?
You know what? I knew I forgot something yesterday.
Honey, you know how important spalling repair is, especially here in the Keys. If that spalling damage gets any worse...
Don't worry. I'll call Design Center in Marathon.
When?
Today.
How about now?
Okay, dear. Now.
Design Center, the most efficient spalling contractor in the Keys, providing the fastest results. With over 40 years combined experience in spalling repair and a member of the International Concrete Repair Institute, Design Center can handle the largest jobs to small structures. They also handle quite a number of condominium and county projects. Mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair. Visit DesignCenterFL.com or call 305-735-4042. Design Center, 6677 Overseas Highway Marathon. License number CGC 1523838. Remember, mention this ad or the program you're listening to and receive 10% off your spalling repair from Design Center.
This is Ollie North for 4-Star Rentals. 4-Star Rentals is the most complete rental store in the Keys. They can provide rental equipment for every do-it-yourself project from your house to your yard. bobcats, chippers, chainsaws, and tile saws, you name it, they have it. They also deliver throughout the Keys. That's 4-Star Rentals. Model marker 4.5 on Stock Island. These guys are really good. That's 4-Star Rentals. Go see them soon.
Check us out. What Colonel Ollie North says is absolutely true. We're locally owned and operated. We offer a fleet of delivery trucks for fast all-in-one delivery. 4-Star Rentals is the oldest tool rental and party store in the Florida Keys. We make it easy to get that job done for that party or very special event. We're located at mile marker 4.5 in Key West, or just call us and we'll come to you. 4-Star Rentals, 294-7171. That's 294-7171. Remember, Colonel Ollie North never lies.
Keys Auto Center, the Keys hometown dealership.
Hey folks, Stephen Bender at Key West Cadillac. Experience the precision and presence of the new Cadillac lineup, from the iconic Escalade to the refined XT5 and performance-driven CT5. And with our local deal match guarantee, you can move forward with confidence. So come see the people you know, like, and trust at Key West Cadillac on the Boulevard, or visit keywestcadillac.com. We've got the keys.
Everything you need is here at Keys Auto Center.
The voice of Monroe County, yours. This is Good Morning Keys on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Talk 96.9, 102.5. The talk of the Keys. Good morning. We are looking at, sunny skies so far. That's good news. 8:38 is your time as we say good morning to Christian Griffith, Right Size Resources. Welcome back, Christian. How are you, sir?
Doing awesome. How are you?
I am doing well. So thank you for being here. Let's first off mention Right Size Resources for those who are still unfamiliar. It's your partner in building the best workforce management solution for your company, whether it's payroll and benefits and workers' comp, HR support, and the like. You can find out more at rightsizeresources.com. One thing we do like to highlight, though, is your commitment to the Florida Keys community, as evidenced by a number of great works that you've done aside from helping businesses save money. And that is one of the latest projects, which is a handicapped accessible ramp or accessibility ramp for the Florida Keys Visitor Center in Big Pine Key. The owner certainly was in need of some community support and help following Hurricane Irma. And we have actually successfully rebuilt the ramp, but we're not at the finish line yet.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, and during Irma, everybody was affected significantly between Summerlin and, Isla Mirada, and she was one of them. And everybody that's on this call or can hear this knows that insurance didn't pay for everything, and just the essentials she got done, and not having an ADA ramp has prevented her from having a significant amount of business because she cannot, advertise on the roads to get people in if she doesn't have a ramp accessible by law. So that's been, 26. So that's been a long time, 9 years of financial struggle for her, and she's a single mother with a house, and we ran into this situation a couple of years ago and have been working together, and, we're led by God to try to help her, and, he's just sort of put this plan together, and a lot of people in the Keys are helping out. One of them, I'll give a shout out, is Justin Snap from Ichabod Crane, who's really been sort of the lead on the physical work involved with this. He's done the demolition, and he and his crew have rebuilt the whole ramp up to this point, and now he's at a point where he's having to take some money out of his own pocket to continue it. And we probably need to raise somewhere around $1,500 to get him paid back. Just wondering if anybody would be willing to help. This is going to help her, with her business, so she doesn't lose her home and or this business.
Christian Griffith with us, Right Size Resources, rightsizeresources.com online. How can people reach out to assist with this neighbor in need and your efforts to help?
Well, they can go to Community Foundation's website, cffk.org/access. cffk.org/access, which is the access ramp. And there's a website there. Click donate. $25 is great. $50, whatever you can afford. $1,500. You get 30 people that get $50. That will finish this project off, and she can open up, have a grand opening, and put signs out there, and start making a lot more money to help pay for her mortgage, and so she can stay in business, helping the Florida Keys.
Yeah. Christian Griffith with Right Size Resources with us. Your best workforce management solution for your company, saving thousands of dollars for businesses here in the Keys over many decades of doing just that. So legislation, well, we've got the Florida legislative session winding down, still no budget there. We've got some tax implications from federal legislation, of course, as we start to look at our tax deadline, et cetera. Are there other pitfalls that maybe employers should be aware of as far as recent changes? I know the big one that we've talked about in the past, and that still is there in tax season now more than ever, and that is the tax credits for tax on tips.
Yes, I think for the most part, people are falling in line with that and getting that taken care of. Just make sure if you are an organization that has people who rely on tips for their income, servers, bartenders, and there's maybe one or two of those in the Florida Keys, just make sure that however you're putting them in your system, that you make sure you designate the employee in your payroll system as someone who is eligible for the Big Beautiful Act credits. And those credits include up to $25,000 in tip credit against their taxes and the overtime premium. So if they work overtime, they don't have to pay taxes on the overtime. So the benefit is just for the employee, not for the employer. But if the employer does not put this information in and it doesn't report properly on the W-2, when they go to their taxes, they will not be able to get this benefit. So it's a fairly simple thing. And most of the payroll companies in the master file for the employee have a little button to press that says they're eligible. They just need to make sure they do it. Most of the employers that are listening to me that may have actually looked at what I'm talking about have probably been like, what is this? See this new button that says Big Beautiful Act, are you eligible? If they are tipped employees and they rely on tips for their employees, then you need to click that button so when the tips come through, they're coded correctly on the W-2 and they get their benefit.
Christian Griffith, Right Size Resources, rightsizedresources.com online, your best partner in building the best workforce management solution for your company, saving companies over the past 20 years millions of dollars in their HR solutions. And changing payroll services can change the bottom line for a number of businesses. It can save you significant amount of dollars. Workers' comp carriers, much the same. Some employers may think incorrectly that you should, or the only time to do this is maybe at the end of your fiscal year. That's not the case.
Yeah, that'd be correct. As a matter of fact, probably the worst time of the year most of the time is the end of the year because you got so much going on, especially in the Florida Keys. I mean, at the end of the year, what happens? You've got a lull in business from about August till Fantasy Fest comes up, and then a business starts to grow a little bit. There's a few festivals. You got the boat races and other things that go on, and then people start coming in around Thanksgiving. There's a little lull before Christmas, and then once Christmas hits, it immediately immerses everything, and you don't have time to do things. So if you were doing this kind of a transition at that time, if you don't have the right resources, it could be a nightmare. So we think other times of the year are better to do that. But that's up to the individual. We help assess the situation for them. We're currently doing an evaluation for a pizza company right now where they're going to save about $6,000 a year by making a transition, for instance, out of a PEO, which $500 a month is like 50% for them of their rent. I know that's not Key West rent, but that's their rent, and that's a significant amount. Imagine getting 65 or 50% of your rent paid, in bottom line to your bottom line next month, and that's a significant dollar amount for them. But the company's going to give them a penalty. Now we're looking at the penalty and saying, well, let's let's postpone this transition till September because the penalty will go away. And that's what we do. We work with the client to make sure that we're going to do things at the right time for them that's most beneficial financially and administratively. I do want to mention something to think about that in our next call we'll have more information on. Okay. One of the things that's just been released is now, one of the words of the day in the last year has been tariffs. People have heard the word tariffs here and there, right? Mm-hmm. So apparently the federal government has passed some laws stating that if your business was directly affected by tariffs, and there's specific businesses, that there's a tax credit now available. I'm going to get all the details on that, and we can talk about that in 2 weeks and which companies would be eligible. So we're talking about a direct and quick, refund of money back to you from the government for effects by tariffs. So just wanted to throw that out to you. I think if it's valid for you, you should probably look into it.
Oh, those are exactly the kinds of topics and resources that you have provided, keeping on top of various ways and changes, legislative or otherwise, that can directly benefit businesses in our community. RightSizeResources.com online. You can get started with an analysis of your business for a free consultation. It's a quick and easy download right at RightSizeResources.com to find out a very accurate estimate as to how much money you would be eligible to save by working with Right Size Resources.
Yes, you can do that. You can call 833-45-RIGHT, R-I-G-H-T, 833-45-RIGHT. You can call us directly at 305-697-4401. That's 305-697-4401. And you can go to the website, www.rsarsave.com, www.rsarsave.com. Just contact us. We'll have a discussion. There's no cost. We can explain any areas that we can help you save. People are trying to, cut costs in some way, shape, or form. One thing that we're not doing is we're not reducing the service that you're getting. So imagine if you could get the same amount of service or better service for 20 to 30% less than you're paying right now. I know it sounds too good to be true, but I mean, if I go online to American Airlines and try to book a flight directly on their website, that price is going to be X. If I go on to Travelocity and book the exact same flight on Travelocity, I might get it for 20 or 30% less, and that's the kind of knowledge and access that we have to help people. So all stuff you have to do to run your business, we're experts in it, and we can help you save some money and reduce it to the lowest cost.
Christian Griffith, Right Size Resources. As I've been mentioning, the website, rightsizresources.com. Go directly to rsarsave.com, an even easier address to remember, rsarsave.com. Christian, we appreciate you being here this morning, and we wish you a very good day, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Everybody, God bless.
Yes, God bless you. Thank you. Christian Griffith, Right Size Resources, rsarsave.com. This is Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Back in a moment.
Hey, Key West, Danny Hughes here from Two Friends. Really from Two Friends. So Maura and I were sitting at breakfast in the bar, listening to live music at 8:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. She's about to enjoy some huevos rancheros and me shrimp and grits with fried oysters. Heart healthy. And Maura says, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. It was perfect because we didn't move here because Key West is like a lot of other places. We moved here because it isn't like any other place on earth. So meet your friends or make your friends at Two Friends, 512 Front Street in Old Town Key West, or twofriends.com.
Step back in time. Step back into Old Town. Step into Old Town Bakery with fresh baked treats like pastries, cookies, brownies, and fresh breads made every morning. Enjoy hot and cold, delicious ground coffee, always brewing, and handcrafted breakfast and lunch sandwiches made to order on oven fresh breads. And now, Old Town Bakery features spinach mushroom feta quiche and ham and cheese quiche, delectable for breakfast or lunch by the slice. Get a whole quiche pie by ordering in store with 24 hours advance notice. Enjoy new cream-filled croissants with chocolate or vanilla filling and award-winning fresh baked pies, including their key lime pie, voted the best in the Keys. Pick up their unique Old Town Bakery t-shirts for a friend or yourself and give the gift of deliciousness with a gift card available for purchase in store. And their catering menu is available to make that next event memorable. Old Town Bakery on the corner of Eaton and Grinnell. Stop in or order online. Old Town Bakery, KeyWest.com.
Tree limb striking power lines is a top cause of power outages in the Florida Keys. While Keys has a robust tree trimming program to keep outages to a minimum, with your help, our efforts can go further. If you're planting a new tree, consider how tall a mature tree will be and choose a location where it won't interfere with power lines. Keep your trees trimmed at least 10 feet from all power lines. And if your tree is already growing near power lines, do not attempt to trim it yourself. Instead, submit a request at keysenergy.com and we will trim it for you free of charge. At Keys Energy, we're working to keep us all safe and the lights on.
In the Florida Keys, there's a name people trust for pool construction and remodels, Islamorada Pools. For years, residential and commercial property owners from Key Largo to Key West have trusted their team to design, build, remodel, and repair some of the most beautiful pools in the islands. Building a brand new backyard retreat, transforming an aging commercial pool, they bring craftsmanship experience and attention to every detail. They're local, they live here year-round, and they know what it takes to build and renovate pools that stand up to the Keys climate while delivering true luxury and long-term durability. From new construction and remodels to repairs, equipment upgrades, and decorative concrete, every detail matters. Your pool should reflect the quality of your property. Islamorada Pools makes that happen. Call 305-852-3133. Visit their showroom at 86701 Overseas Highway, Suite 103 in Islamorada, or online at islamorada.pools.com. Islamorada Pools, trusted, local, and built for the Keys.
Good morning, Keys, on Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5.
Good morning, Keys. Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the talk of the Keys. And we have a hit-and-run accident being reported. Gatehouse Road, Ocean Reef. That was received a little while ago. Actually, we're going to get some more details about that and other happenings with Monroe County Sheriff's Office with the sheriff himself, Sheriff Rick Ramsay. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Good morning to your listeners.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Michael, we are working a case on Ocean Reef. It's a hit and run, but we did get the person. This was wee hours in the morning. A car was traveling down County Road 905, and you generally make the left to go to Card Sound towards Miami. But this person was intoxicated and did not make the left at the three-way, but kept going straight, heading towards Ocean Reef, not knowing that he was going the wrong direction. And as he approached the guard shack, which has the gates, so you just can't drive in that community, it's a gated community, this intoxicated motorist drove right through the gates, damaging the gates, and then was driving around Ocean Reef. We got called. We had a patrol unit there at Ocean Reef. At some point in time, he turned his car, got it figured around to try to leave. And as he's trying to leave Ocean Reef, we did stop him as he's trying to leave the complex. And the damage was consistent with running through the gates. The person was not from Ocean Reef. The person was intoxicated. And this person ultimately went to jail for a DUI and the crash, leaving the scene of accident with property damage. So, yeah, interesting time. We've had this happen in the past where person or persons have driven through Ocean Reef thinking was going to Miami and drove right through the security gates and damaged the gates. So that was low action this morning in Ocean Reef.
Yeah, it was. Sheriff Rick Ramsay with us, Sheriff of Monroe County on Good Morning Keys. Speaking of traffic, your personnel did a great job once again managing traffic at the Marathon Seafood Festival. We did provide fair warning that that could be a congested area, but things move smoothly. People remain safe thanks to your planning and your personnel. And as always, thanks for visiting with us there on site as you visited with many other citizens. And I will mention, not to divulge too much, but you've got a bright future as a top 40 hot hits DJ, should you ever choose to pursue that career path.
Well, I may need that one day if the voters decide they want me to take a different path, but I did enjoy spending time with you. I did enjoy being a co-host for a few minutes anyway at the Marathon Seafood Festival on the Party 105.7. We had a lot of fun. But yeah, Michael and our listeners, we have a really good system. As people saw, the traffic was just really no real backup. We kept it flowing, but we kept it safe. We have plans out there to get people safely across the highway in groups and packs at our tent area set up, and it worked out just as we wanted to. We wanted to make it safe and secure, but keep the impact on traffic as minimal as possible. Very time intensive, very manpower intensive. Have to have a clear, distinct plan, which we did. As you saw, we had security teams inside walking around for visibility and presence to make sure they're safe inside and to respond in case we needed to. But also we have a contingency outside to do the traffic control on the outer perimeter, which we also, had in place. So everything worked out well, no issues, no fights, no pedestrians injured, no crashes, backups minimum. So I'm proud of my security teams. We did a really good job there, as well as at the 104-mile marker of the Irish Festival going on at the same time in front of the Caribbean Club. That was also a traffic issue where cars are coming in and out, people are crossing, cars are parking in the center median. Again, takes a plan and proper manpower and supervision to make sure those goes off safely and seamlessly.
Yes. Well, again, Sheriff Rick Ramsay with us, Sheriff of Monroe County on Good Morning Keys, and it did go off seamlessly. We had a situation that could have made it worse, though, whereby it looks like Saturday there was an arrest of a woman from Spokane, Washington. She led deputies on a pursuit after Key West police alerted the sheriff's office at about 9:45 p.m. that a stolen Infiniti sedan was headed northbound out of Key West. Sheriff's office attempted to stop that vehicle near mile marker 47. She fled, and we were eventually able to spike the tires at 107th Street in Marathon. So she was headed up that way near the Seafood Festival vicinity. Luckily, it was after it had concluded for the day. But that's a dangerous situation. She was found with methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, driving without a license, and additional charges possibly pending by Key West Police.
Right, yeah. Key West Police did ultimately charge her with grand theft auto. She was staying at the homeless shelter, and apparently, not sure how she came across this car, but got this car, stole the car. Key West PD got a report of the stolen car. We got the information about the car possibly heading northbound, so we had a BOLO be on the lookout for. And we did first spot the car around Bayhon, the 35-mile marker. A traffic enforcement officer from the sheriff's office spotted the car, tried to get the car to stop to no avail. Radio ahead, we set up our Stinger spikes at the north end of the 7-mile bridge. And when the car came off, we were able to spike the car. We spiked out 3 out of 4 tires on the suspect car, which is good. Unfortunately, we also spiked out 2 patrol cars that did not create the proper distance. When we're going to spike, our patrol cars are supposed to create distance to give time for the spikes to be pulled back out. So I was not too thrilled about that. But the car continued from the bridge up for about 3-4 more miles on rims and flat tires until we got about 107th Street. We were set up to spike again at the 55-mile marker, but we didn't have to. We did get the female in the car, sole person who was in the car. Yes, we did find methamphetamines, other drugs. She did not have a driver's license. We were able to get the car towed for the owner with 3 flat tires. We arrested her on charges from the sheriff's office for fleeing and looting, drug charges, whatnot. And then we notified our friends in Key West Police, who also followed up to drop the charges or put charges on her for grand theft auto. So she's got a lot of problems. She was free, could have gone back home. Now she's going to be sitting MCJ for a while. I don't think she's got money to bond out, so she'll remain with me at the Double R Bed and Breakfast for a while, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it does sound like it. Well, she created a pretty treacherous situation for herself and for others and law enforcement as well. So, yeah, she will have some time to think about that, hopefully, and reconsider her actions in the future. We also had a man that was arrested dumping over 500 pounds of trash, litter, camping supplies, bottles, beer cans, even bicycles and numerous other items into a makeshift camp in the woods in Key Largo. He was given 7 days to clean up the site in January. He did not do that, so he was arrested and booked into jail.
We've talked in your show several times about this, the dumping stuff, especially in Key Largo. A lot of these properties are county-owned or conservation properties that we find people that move on these properties and they just destroy them. They keep bringing junk and trash and garbage and, and feces, and they don't pick up their trash. They just dump it on the ground. When we come across this, or when we get notified by the county of issues, or whether it be proactive or reactive, we do try to give them an opportunity to avoid jail, to clean up their mess. They almost always tell us, yes, I'm going to do it, I'm sorry, but they almost always never do. And when they don't, after we give them fair opportunity to correct their behavior and to fix the problem, if they don't, we do arrest them. We're going to hold them accountable. We can't just let them stay out there and keep destroying properties in our environment. So they do get arrested. We get some court intervention, because then we have to come out, if they don't, with the county and the sheriff's office, and we have to pick up all the stuff and get it destroyed and disposed of and clean these properties. Someone's got to do it. The sheriff's office doesn't want to, but we got to get it done. And if someone doesn't step up, we got to be part of the solution and just get it done.
Yeah.
So it's going to send a message that these people we arrest, the other people that are living in these properties, that may hear, or we give them a warning, that they heed the warning. They know we're serious. That if you don't heed the warning, you're going to jail.
Yep. Have to be accountable for your actions, and that's what's happened here. 71-year-old Columbia man unfortunately did die as of March 13th. Dive accident off of the shipwreck Eagle off the coast of Islamorada. He was found on the ocean floor about 110 feet down by commercial dive employees, taken back to the commercial vessel. They applied CPR, continued doing so until the U.S. Coast Guard arrived, but he unfortunately was pronounced deceased at Mariners Hospital in Tavernier. Foul play does not appear to be a factor in this incident, but it's always unfortunate to have to report on these accidents, but they do happen, and that did happen just the other day.
Yeah, when people come from out of state to dive here in the Keys, such a beautiful area, but a lot of people haven't dove for a really long time. They're generally not familiar with their gear and haven't had a safety checkout dive. And the 110-foot dive is a pretty technical dive, a deep dive. So they went out. He had his own gear, and they went out on a dive charter boat out of the Islamorada area, and they went out to the Eagle. And he went in, and just within a couple minutes, the other divers lost sight of him. So they immediately started trying to scour and find him. A dive master from another dive boat found him on the bottom, and when they did, the regulator was out of his mouth. He had a blood coming out of the nose and mouth area, which is indicative clearly of saltwater drowning. At that point in time, the dive master said he tried to power inflate his BC, but it would not power inflate. He believed there was no air in the tank to inflate the BC. He then inflated his and swam the person up to the surface. But it takes a while. The dive master just can't shoot to the surface, as we know, because he is likely to get the bends and have medical issues. And by the time he gets to the surface, they passed him off to the boat, who brought him on, and then took the gear off and started trying to do CPR. By that point in time, he was already gone. He was passed. But they continued on. Coast Guard, our friends, showed up, continued CPR, rushed him in. Fire rescue, they determined and pronounced him deceased. Sad. It's considered death investigation. Sheriff's office will investigate this along with the medical examiner. We seized the dive gear. We'll have to check the tank to make sure there was or wasn't any air in there. If there was air, we check the purity and make sure there's no poisoning or any type of contaminants inside the air. The medical examiner would look at cause, in this case, saltwater drowning. If there was air in the tank and no issues, then they would look to see if there was a heart attack or something else which a medical issue induced the death in this situation. So we've got to get some answers for the family. But again, no sign of foul play was involved. We think it was unfortunate saltwater drowning of this 71-year-old male.
Yes, it is unfortunate. Sheriff Rick Ramsay with us, Sheriff Monroe County on Good Morning Keys. Also did have cocaine possession arrest, also use of, actually charged with cocaine sales and use of a two-way communications device. A woman from Marathon arrested last week for, an incident in the 5500 block of the Overseas Highway, and she also was taken to jail.
Unfortunately, but this is a special operations case. Our narcotics teams had warrants for her arrest. She'd been selling cocaine, so we were looking for her. We did locate her, stop her, and arrested her on outstanding special operation warrants for sale of cocaine. A 48-year-old female from the Marathon area, Miss Michelle Flint. So we did charge her and arrest her and get her off the streets and hold her accountable for selling drugs and endangering our citizens and community.
Yeah. Well, speaking of community, we want to thank members of the community every opportunity we get for their support of law enforcement and of the sheriff's office. We also thank you for all of your community policing initiatives, as evidenced again by your presence at the Seafood Festival and everywhere else around the Keys, continuing to maintain those very strong community relationships and partnerships and trust with the public. We recognize, I am not going to even try his last name, Joseph Kraiwani, I believe, distinguished member on behalf of the Florida Sheriff's Association. You recognized him in his 25 years of support of Sheriff's Office and law enforcement. So thank you to Joseph.
Joseph, good, outstanding man who for 25 years has been supporting Florida Sheriff's Association, the youth ranches, has been such a good friend to the Sheriff's Office. So I had the certificate on behalf of the Sheriff's Association. I always make a point to go out to the individuals' businesses or homes. I want to go to them. I'm not asking them to come to me. But I went out to him to spend time, talk to him a little bit, thank him personally, took the picture you probably saw out there. And
yes,
we just want to thank Joseph for his friendship and partnership and all he's doing to make this community better and safer. So it was a good time to spend a little time with him last week.
Yes, sir. One final accolade since we talked last week. It was announced that the Sheriff's Office has received an error-free independent audit of its financial operations and procedures for the 23rd consecutive year. Congratulations.
I'm proud of the Sheriff's Office and I'm proud of my finance team. We every year we're able to balance up to every penny of taxpayers' money, showing fiscal responsibility, accountability to track people's money, to make sure we're doing the right things by their money. I treat the citizens' money like it's my money in my pocket. I want them to feel confident that we are good custodians of their money, doing right by it, and that there's no foul play of lost monies or monies that we can't account for or can't track. We track every single penny of it, and we back it up and prove it with independent outside auditors who come in, audit the Sheriff's Office, and look at our books and make sure that we're doing best practices and that our audits are, in this case, again, perfect. So congratulations to the finance team. Jill Craney Black is my executive director of finance, does a great job. Our number 2 person, Yenny, the rest of the team there. This team is hitting on all cylinders, and it shows each and every year with these perfect audits, which are really important to me. I always talk about fiscal responsibility, and this is fiscal responsibility at its best.
Yes, it is. Well, Sheriff, I appreciate your time here this morning. Always wonderful to see you. And is there anything else that we should mention before we let you go on to another busy day?
No, I think we've covered a lot of good stuff. And again, I appreciate you giving the opportunity today, but also at the Seafood Festival to talk to your listeners and try to have a little fun with you and them and try to talk about some good stuff we're doing at MCSO and keep everybody informed, whether it be good or bad.
Well, indeed, yes. So there's always good news to pass along from the Sheriff's Office as well. We appreciate your service, your commitment. Please be safe as you continue your duties and mission there at the Sheriff's Office, Monroe County. Best to your entire team. We'll talk soon, sir.
Thank you to you and listeners. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Sheriff Rick Ramsay, Sheriff of Monroe County, Keys Talk 96.9, 102.5, the Talk of the Keys. Time for Glenn Beck.